Well, you can see it because you've got your glasses on.
Nice job. That fish is huge. Hey guys, it's Zach with GTZ Outdoors. I hope you guys are having a good one. It's been a hot bite here in Manitoba, and so today I'm going to quickly go over spring shore fishing for trout. Kind of the reasoning behind this video was getting ready to come back here to Manitoba after being in school in BC. I definitely started thinking about what I wanted to fish for and where the hot bites were going to be. And so I started doing some research and looking around, and I looked up on YouTube spring shore trout fishing, and there weren't a lot of videos, if any, based off lake fishing for these fish. There were a lot of Ontario river fishing, and that's not necessarily the techniques that I wanted to use. So with that said, I'm going to talk about what I used, where I used it, and kind of what to look for when starting to figure out where to go and what to use for these spring trout. This is definitely not going to be an all-encompassing video on what to use or all the techniques. If you guys have any techniques that I don't talk about and you guys want to share, go ahead and send them in the comments. Everybody loves to hear that, and it's a great way to share techniques and ideas. So with that, I'm going to get into what I use for these trout. So talking about what I use, this is one of the rods that I did use. It is a 6.6 Shimano Canadian Graphite Select. In the it's a 6.6 two-piece and a medium action. And then for line that I have all over the place, it is a 12-pound Power Pro line with a 30 size quantum throttle reel. It's what I used for float fishing in some of those videos. And when I'm using more of a finesse technique for those trout. My other rod that I used was a Fenwick HMX. 9-foot is actually my twitch fishing rod for salmon. And I just simply put on some 15-pound fluoro on one of my 40 size reels that I use for trout at home here. So kind of that's the rods that I use. So I'm going to start going into the techniques. A lot of the guys that I know that kind of got me onto the spot and these trout, definitely just get away with Lindy rigs. Just go out and buy Lindy rigs in the packages, and they're more than adequate to catch these fish. I couldn't use necessarily a just regular Lindy rig on my salmon rod, so I had to beef it up a little bit. So this is a 1/4 ounce egg sinker or egg weight, and it's just in line. Then I have a size 6 split shot sitting there to kind of stop the weight from hitting my knot. And then I have tied off is a little clip and a swivel. And I definitely use the clip a lot when I'm fishing, especially when you catch multiple fish. The hook and the line like to drag on the teeth of the maxilla and pre-maxilla of the trout. And so it can wear off your hooks and stuff. So usually the night before, or a few nights before, I will go and rig a full Lindy setup full of Lindy rigs that I make at home. And so then I don't have to necessarily waste a lot of time re-rigging, and I can just simply clip on a new one and cast right back out. But yeah, so my the actual like leader and Lindy rig of the portion is anywhere from 2 to 3 foot of line. I use generally 6 to 8 pound fluoro with anywhere from a 6 to a size 1 octopus hook. And then because we're in Manitoba, you got to make sure your barbs are pinched. And then I simply just put a split shot anywhere from, I think this is about 2.5 to 3 inches to an inch away from the swivel to keep that all on the ground. And then on the hook, night crawlers, and I'd use the blower and blow them up and let them float, or I use trout dough. So that was kind of the main technique when fishing from shore and letting it sit. That was the technique that I was using. So flash forward to some of the footage that I'm going to show you in this video. I'm using floats. So this is a sliding float and this is a fixed float. I used both of them. They both work well. They both have definitely their techniques. But all I was running was these slip and fixed floats with split shot, and then the clip, a swivel, and then either drop shotted technique, but instead of having the weight at the bottom, it's a second hook with either night crawlers or trout dough underneath these floats, targeting those fish that are super shallow, false spawning because they are triploid fish. Some other techniques that I used were spoons. So this is kind of just your little Cleo, and this is a frostbite spoon. So definitely the blue was a hot color for these trout. That's definitely what seemed to work for me. I'd use those spoons or these spinners. So this is just a Blue Fox size 3 with just a single hook, or this is just a minnow imitation spoon and a smaller size. Those definitely worked as well, especially casting towards weed lines and pulling them along weed lines where these trout were sometimes targeting minnows schooled up along the weeds. Definitely worked well. Yeah, so now I'm going to start to talk about generally where to fish. So on the lake specifically that I was fishing in the videos, that boat launch is generally the biggest and most well-known transitions zone or spot on that whole lake, where you have cobble and rock transitioning to weed lines to transitioning to deeper water where it gets out to about 20 to 25 feet. So that spot is definitely a key structure to look for, is transition zones, weed lines, shallow bays that transition into deep water, and points. All those spots are going to funnel bait and funnel fish into that area so that if you're fishing there, they're going to come by and you're going to be able to hook into a few fish. Timing and like location and stuff is definitely very important. Water temperature and your clarity and weather definitely have a key factor on what those fish will be doing. In some of the videos, like it's cloudy and windy, I'm definitely able to get away with a lot more and a lot more movement in my line and in my rod, just because those fish aren't picking up that movement. Where in like some of the footage you'll see, it's dead calm and crystal clear. And I do lose a few, or scare off and lose a few fish because I do pull my line to see if, and pull my weight. So in those situations, it's definitely good to size down and try to be as finesse as possible to get those fish to bite. The guy I was fishing with, Cody, and his Instagram will be in the description, he outfished me at some points 2-1 because his finesse setup with his float made less movement than my rounder, bigger float. So that's something to take into consideration when fishing these fish, is how finicky that it can be. I know there is time, especially in the winter, on even that lake and lakes in Manitoba, that those fish will be so turned off that you can't even get them to bite with the most finesse setups. So knowing what those fish are looking at and how kind of tight-lipped they are is definitely very important on figuring out what to use and where to use it. But with that, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just make sure to leave a like, subscribe, do whatever you got to do. But let us know what you guys think of the channel, what you guys want to see, because we love having interactions with you guys. But with that, hope you have a good one. And as always, peace. There we go. Slaying them. That's a nice fish. Try to keep it out of your way here.
It's a nice one too.
Yeah, they're all real nice.
And you know why I was up to this park? Basically, I don't know where that boat is.
Oh, rod snapped. Yeah. That's nice.
Got the bit so
Perfect. Hey, it's fun. Actually, I don't. It just came up.
It just came up.
Thank the Lord. That could have been.
Well, you know what? That's probably the two trucks that the one truck I was following and the other truck. That's probably what they're going to be doing. Probably coming here shortly.
23 incher.
Oh, are you ready for a picture?
Yeah, that's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah. See, it shouldn't be doing that.
Just peeing.
It's just dropping water. I'll just let her go. Not a big deal.
Don't want to pad the staff?
No, it's fine.
I think that's me.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you're on this side.
You're
now?
good now. Yeah, you're good. You're free. Oh,
What's going on here?
I don't know. You cast it into us. There's a big fish.
It's a big fish?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I gotta get this. Can you keep me pinned for a second?
Oh, yeah.
I was way over there, and whatever it was, just way over there.
No!
Stay out of the weeds. No.
Said it's a good fish. He's fighting harder than any of the other fish. Maybe it's that 28 incher. Man, if I catch the 28 incher,
You're gonna just have to go home, or it'll be tough to beat?
no, I won't go home.
Not a
but
chance.
but I'll be smiling pretty good.
So, like, it's heavy to move, eh?
Yeah, like it's a big fish. She's coming in pretty good.
Oh, he's wrapped too.
Maybe I hooked her in the fin. Maybe that's it. I don't know where I hooked it, but
It's still like 26er probably.
get her on her way here. 26 incher. Hard.